It's 2026, and if you're still doing hundreds of sit-ups expecting to lose body fat and wondering why it's not coming off, this video is going to break down exactly what fat is, why you can't spot reduce fat, and what you should be doing in order to lose fat, but more importantly, keep it off. My name's Anton Danyluk, and I've been a fitness coach for the last 15 years, helping tens of thousands of people completely transform their body. But one of the most common questions I have ever been asked is, how do I lose body fat from this specific area in my body? And in today's video, we're going to break down exactly why you can't do that. So the first thing we need to address is what fat actually is, because as much as it sounds simple, most people don't know. So what fat actually is simply stored energy within our body. We eat food which has calories in it. Calories is energy. If we overeat in calories, we have excess energy left over, which stores in our body as fat. Pretty simple, right? But you'd be surprised at how many people don't know that. Now with this fat, that is just unfortunately stored across our full body. We will have fat in our legs, we'll have fat in our stomachs, maybe even in our arms, and our chest. It really just depends on where you're genetically pre-exposed to gain extra fat. And that's why you see people with all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes people are thin at the top and they have bigger legs, and vice versa. Sometimes you see people with the skinny legs and the big bellies. It just really depends on where your body stores fat, and obviously the more fat you have, the more places it's stored. When it comes to losing body fat, what basically happens is you put yourself into a calorie deficit. So you're not giving your body enough energy, so your body has to eat into its stored energy in order to give you energy. Say energy one more time, Anton. And that is exactly how we lose body fat. Our bodies eat into our fat reserves in order to give us the fuel we need in order to aid the activity we're doing. 2, think about why we actually can't spot reduce fat. If you think about it, fat is just energy, right? So we can't just go into our body and say, give me energy from my triceps, for example. Give me energy from my stomach, for example. At the end of each individual day or individual week, however long it takes for your body to realize that you're in a deficit, your body is going to basically say, wait a minute here, you're not giving me enough energy, so I'm just going to go in and take some energy from where I need it. You think your body gives a insert bleep noise about literally where that energy comes from? It does not. It just takes it from wherever it needs to take it from to give you that energy to make sure ultimately you're surviving. At the end of the day, your body is good at storing energy, i.e. fat, because it thinks you're going to need it later. We live in a generation now where we're soft, basically. We're soft. We eat more than we need to be eating, and our body has got so good at storing that extra fat because it thinks one day we will need that during the famine. But that famine ain't coming anytime soon. That's just the world we live in. That famine ain't coming. So our body's just holding on to this and storing more and more fat because we keep giving it too much. So when you do go into your calorie deficit, when you decide enough's enough, I need to change, not another minute, not another day, this is the time, I need to look better, I need to feel better, then ultimately what your body's starting to do at that point is give you that energy that you're needing in order to survive, because you're not giving yourself enough energy through the food. When we do decide we've had enough, we've maybe looked in the mirror, we don't like how we look, someone's took a photo of us and we're disgusted at what's looking back, we make that choice to go on a diet or go into a fitness regime in some way in order to lose weight. So when we do decide that time is right, we put ourselves into a calorie deficit, our body starts eating into our stored energy to give us enough energy to fuel our day, and then we start losing weight. Now, at no point does your body think to itself, I need to take it from a certain area of my body. It's just looking for energy to give you to operate as normal. What tends to happen here is people seem to think that they can't lose weight for a certain area, and a lot of time it's from the stomach, and I'll just use that as an example. So people always think to themselves that if I do loads of sit-ups, I'm going to lose more weight from my stomach. But here's why that doesn't work. Ultimately, a sit-up is a very small movement and works very small muscle groups. Your abs are one of the smallest muscle groups within your body. Therefore, you're not burning enough calories, i.e. you're not needing enough energy in order to do these sit-ups, so you're not releasing enough fat. So what you're actually better to do is to do big exercises that work bigger muscle groups. Think squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups, lat pull down, that type of vibe that is actually ultimately burning more energy, therefore releasing more fat. Now hopefully you understand why you can't spot reduce fat, but here's another thing. Exercise is only 5% of the overall calories that we burn. Think about that for a second. We put all this emphasis and attention into what exercises we should do, but ultimately it's only 5% of the overall calories we burn. The other calories come from our BMR, which is our basal metabolic rate. That's anywhere between 60 to 65% of our overall calories. That's how many calories we burn at resting. Our NEAT, which is our non-exercise activity thermogenesis, say that 5 times with no veneers in, very difficult. And that takes up anywhere between 20 to 25% of your overall calories burnt. Then we have the thermic effect of food. So when we actually eat food and we digest food, that actually takes calories. If you think about it, calories are energy. It takes energy to digest that food. And that takes up around about 10% of the overall calories burnt. And then lastly, like we spoke about, that 5% on exercise. So that is a good breakdown to why you probably shouldn't be leaning into exercise as your source of weight loss. Now, I'm not saying don't exercise. It's obviously very beneficial for other reasons, but it's not the be all and end all when it comes to losing body fat. Don't overcomplicate it when it comes to all these different exercises. It's such a small part of your journey. Remember, there's 5 fundamentals when it comes to your fitness journey: your steps, your water, your nutrition, your sleep. And yes, you're training, but there is 4 other things you can be utilizing, not just doing things like sit-ups. And ideally, don't do sit-ups, do bigger movements that burn more calories. Hopefully you found that video very useful. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And if you want a full breakdown of exactly how to lose fat and keep it off, I've created a full playlist. It's linked in the description. I break down why you've lost weight in the past and not managed to keep it off. Secondly, the full 6-phase system that you can implement from today. And lastly, how to implement this within the first 30 days. I'll see you all next time.